Hi guys, so I'm going to tell you guys a story. I worked max security psych for 10 years, so I have so many stories. I have so many stories that I could share with you guys, but I'm going to share one in particular that changed how I saw my job from that moment on, and also that I had a best friend that I could literally trust my life to. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. So I worked on K2, she worked on K9, and it's a long hallway that you got to walk down to get there. But anyway, I had went on break and K9 had called a code. So I'm running down because I know my bestie is there. Now, I worked third shift, skeleton crew. So if you know, you know. If you're on break and you hear a code, you just go. It doesn't matter. So I go down to help out. The patient, we're going to call her Candy. Okay, she was a street worker. She had been on the streets for a very long time, has had to fight for her life a lot. She does not like anybody and will be very quick to fight whoever, wherever. She literally punched this dude who is like 6'5", big dude, punched him right in the face like 3 times. Did not care. So we ended up having to put her in restraints. Now, when you put somebody in restraints, you have to do a 1-to-1. So that means you have to have somebody watching. You can't just put somebody in restraints and then walk away. And so the supervisor ended up volunteering to do that because they only had 2 people on the unit. Now, when you have 2 people there has to be at least 2 people on the unit. So that means you have to have a third person to actually do the 1-to-1. And so the supervisor had volunteered to do that. Now, during the code, I put the wrist restraint on and I checked myself. You have to do a finger check. So when you put a wrist restraint on a patient, you have to be able to stick your finger down in between the wrist and the restraint, and you know that it's not too tight. I did that on both wrists, and I got my finger down both sides, so they were not too tight, but she had convinced the supervisor that it was too tight, even after I told her it was not too tight. So she loosened it, and I believe the nurse loosened the other one. So anyway, remember, I'm on break, and I'm sitting behind the nurse's station talking to my friend, and the supervisor then calls for me and Donna by name and yells, yells help. So we run over there. She's sitting outside the room. The patient is sitting up in the bed, both wrists free, out of the wrist restraints. Now, she still has the ankle restraints on, but she is sitting up in the bed like, I'm fine. I'm not going to go after anybody else. You can just take me out of here. The supervisor, now at this point, me and Donna are both standing in the doorway, and the supervisor is behind us, in between us. And listen, she's talking mad shit because she's pissed. Like, you've put your hands on my staff, you're not going anywhere. And you can tell Candy is getting pissed. She's not saying anything, but you could see she's getting pissed. So I go look at Donna, like, give her that look. Both of us look at each other like we know what's about to happen. And before I could even turn my face back, she had grabbed me by the shirt, yanked me down. My hair was down. She stuck her fingers through my hair, wrapped my hair around her fingers, and held on for dear life, yanked me down on top of her. I was at her mercy. There was nothing I could do. My bestie still works there, so I'm not going to go into detail exactly what happened, but we were in fear of our lives, and there wasn't a whole lot that we could do. But my whole thing was get her off my hair, right? I had to just get her loosen up enough so I could yank back and get away from this girl, right? So I'm starting to lose consciousness, or it feels like I'm starting to lose consciousness. My vision's going in and out. I'm getting lightheaded. My head is hurting, right? I'm doing what I can. I was able to get one hand loose to where Donna was able to pull it away from my hair. So she had let go of one side, but she still had this one just held on for dear life. And finally did what we had to do. And I'm like, I'm yanking my head. I don't care if I lose my hair. I'm yanking my head away from her. So I did. Basically counted to 3 in my head and just yanked up. And she still had her hand wrapped around my hair, and I had a big-ass bald spot, probably about that big, if not bigger. Now, I could not see at this point. Everything was very, very blurry. And so we both had to be on top of this woman to keep her down, and still nobody had come. Now, what happened to the supervisor? what happened was she went to go call a code and then she never came back. So it was literally just me and Donna this entire time. Felt like a half hour, which it wasn't, but it felt like it. And so finally, we're on top of her. We finally get her off of me. We're on top of her. And I can see enough to see that there are people standing in the doorway, but they're just standing there. And we're like, get in here. And then I feel someone pick me up off of the patient and take me into the nurse's station and set me down. Now, I was out of it. Like, I didn't even know what just happened. I knew that my head hurt, but apparently my bright red hair at the time, it was bright red with blonde bottom, was literally covered in that room. Donna was covered in my hair. Candy was covered in my hair. The whole entire restraint room had my hair everywhere. Apparently my face had turned green, like the color back there, completely green. I did end up having to go to the hospital for that. It messed up my optic nerves, and so that was why I couldn't see. My vision has gotten better since then, just so you know. But that was a tough time. But that let me know, that moment let me know that I'm putting myself in danger every night that I walk in here. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm one of those people that I kind of do the nervous laugh or I laugh at inappropriate sensitive situations, I guess. But anyway, but I'm putting my life in danger. Everybody that works there, we are putting our lives in danger every single night. Because, listen, that's one of many, 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 many stories that we all have. But that is one that Donna does not like to talk about. She doesn't like to hear about it, because she had to watch me and she felt helpless. But my hair did grow back. It did grow back. But how it grew back, it's completely flat. I can't do nothing to fluff it up. So I have to put my other hair on top of it to kind of fluff it up so it doesn't look like it's nice and pretty and then flat in the middle. It drives me crazy. Thanks a lot, Candy. but and that also taught me that my friend has got my back. She has got my back. And I've heard people make comments about she wouldn't be able to handle herself and this and that. I know better. She's 14 years older than me. And I'm only saying that to say that's partly why people say, no, she wouldn't be able to handle herself. What would she do if this happened? I know what she would do. I've seen it. We've risked our lives for each other for 10 years together. And I would do it again no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go back there, but I would do it all over again, knowing I had to work there. I would know what I was walking into because I knew that she had my back. And the family that we built, I mean, the other beautiful ladies that I got to work with there, and the gentlemen, we all became family, and we all had each other's back. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. Interesting story. But thanks for being here, and appreciate every single day.